Hello and welcome to the Film Pulse Podcast. This is episode number 486. My name is Adam Patterson. With me today we got Kevin Rakestraw. Hey, Kevin.
How's it going?
Pretty good. I mean, I had a child. I brought a child into this world since the last episode, so it's been tiring and stressful, but overall pretty decent, I would say.
An insane turn of events.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Like it's still a little surreal, to be honest. Like it's still kind of crazy, but
yeah, I mean it's that for me, and I'm not the one living it. I'm just the guy.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, but it's definitely a journey, that's for sure. Anyway, this week on the show, we'll be taking a look at Medusa Deluxe, which is out now on VOD. We'll be going over some we're watching on the watch list and covering new releases in theaters, VOD, and Blu-ray. Thank you so much for joining us this week. If you get a moment, consider reviewing us. That'd be great. Regarding Saved by the 90s, I know I was super late in posting the July episode, but rest assured there will be an August episode as well. We have a topic, we have a date set for recording, so that should be out by the end of the month. So stay tuned for that. With that, I think we can go ahead and jump into our review. We're talking about Medusa Deluxe. This is directed by Thomas Hardiman. I have a synopsis here. Talented and cutthroat hairstylists at a competition find one of their own murdered before judging can begin. Winding through neon-lit halls, competitors unspool long, simmering resentments and lies as they search for the killer among them. Now, that synopsis makes this sound kind of like an exciting whodunit set in the world of hairstylists.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's what I thought when you threw this movie out and I read the synopsis.
Also,
like, oh boy.
The trailer for this also makes it kind of out to be that, where it's like this just frantic, crazy behind, like, backstage thing. And like the funny thing is, most of the trailer, if I'm remembering correctly, a lot of it is comprised of that opening scene, that opening monologue, which is the best part of the movie, I think, at least.
Yeah.
And everything just goes downhill from there, at least in my opinion. I can't say as I was really into this movie overall. I found it to be just way too dry, man. Like, not a lot's going on here. I did not like the setting. I didn't like the kind of backstage corridors and dingy looking rooms and stuff. Like, I wasn't very enthralled with the aesthetics. And this is a single take. This is like a one take movie. So, you have these long sequences of people just like walking from point A to point B. But it's just not interesting. So I feel like the mechanic, the single take mechanic doesn't really add anything to the narrative here. And I think that it actually detracts quite a bit from it, because they spend so much time walking from one room to another, and it doesn't, like, there's no tension really. Like, it's not as frantic as the trailer makes it out to be.
No.
So yeah, for me, I just found this to be a little bit of a slog.
Oh, yeah, I agree 200%. Because going into this, like, you put it out there. I read the synopsis. I thought, okay, this sounds like a stylish movie. Whodunit. I love whodunits. What I didn't know is I had no idea that this was a one-take movie until my wife pointed it out.
I didn't either, by the way.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, okay, this sounds great. But I 300% agree with you in terms of it actually detracting from the movie, because it is that. It is just, there's no point in this being a one-shot movie.
No.
There's absolutely no point. If you take out all of the incessant walking to rooms and then back to another room and then walking down this hallway, this movie's like an hour and 10 minutes long. But it's an hour and 40 because 30 minutes of it is people just walking to another place
Also, I just have a really hard time believing that it would take that long to get from point A to point B. Specifically, there's a scene where a guy's carrying someone outside, and I'm like, how does it take this long to just get outside of the venue? Why? Like, are you going the longest way possible to get out there? It just seems crazy to me.
Yeah. There's nothing in terms of the one take. Nothing about it is like, ooh, this is exciting. Like, I'm glad that they did this.
Yeah.
All of it was just like, oh, you could easily cut here. Which, of course, there was numerous times where it goes completely pitch black, and you're like, yeah, I'm sure you're cutting there anyways. Like, what the fuck is the point of doing this?
Yeah, it just didn't. It really. There was really nothing here either, aside from some of the dialogue that I think was even impressive to capture in a single take. Like, some of the performances were good, and some of the arguments and stuff. And I thought that there was like a little bit of a kind of a scuffle that happens. Again, you see it in the trailer. That was shot well. Like, they were able to like quickly add makeup and stuff when the camera moved away. So that was kind of impressive. And there at one point an infant is involved, and I don't know how many, if they were able to like capture all of that stuff in one go, but I think making a one take film involving an infant is probably very challenging. But you know, other than that, it's just kind of. I saw on Letterboxd a couple people compare this to Climax, the Gaspar Noé film, and I completely agree. As I was watching it, I was thinking to myself, wow, this feels just like the movie Climax, which I hated, by the way. I thought Climax was much more grating than this, but I still like the aesthetically it feels very similar to Climax, and I don't like it, man. Like, I don't like the look of this movie. Like, the hair design, like all of the hair and stuff looks great, but like just the look of the movie itself is just so bleh. I don't like it.
Yeah. No, and I think there's that, at least for me, is, hairstylist competition. I'm thinking, oh, there's going to be oodles of style in this bad boy. And like you said, hairstyles look pretty crazy, pretty great, but there's no style to be found anywhere else, like within the movie at all. Like the architecture, the way in which it's shot, the lighting, nothing. It's drab. Mm-hmm. It's just absolutely drab. The only thing that like mildly or marginally saves this in any way is performances. And for me, there's two. There's Harriet Webb and Claire Perkins. I think if you don't have either of them in this movie, like, it's absolutely nothing.
Oh,
it's an absolute nothing of a film.
Yeah, you don't have them involved, you're screwed. You're screwed.
Because at least like when they would open their mouths, I was like, oh, thank God, a compelling person, a compelling character. Thank you. Everyone else, I'm just kind of like, oh, okay.
Yeah, everybody else was pretty lukewarm. I mean, Claire Perkins, I think, is definitely a highlight. Like, she was just such a bitch in this. I loved it.
She's out of her goddamn mind.
Yeah,
love it.
Yeah, the mystery aspect, the whodunit aspect.
What?
Very lackluster. Very, very lackluster. You don't see the murder take place, really. There's not like additional murders that take place. You could almost eliminate the whole murder aspect and the movie would be pretty much the exact same. Like, the way that it only affects the murder actually only affects a few people in this competition. Like, everybody else seems to be like, well, he was kind of a dick anyway, or he was our competition, and like it's like some people didn't even really like him and didn't care. It's just the whole thing in general just seems very odd to me. Like, why are they even still there? Like, did they need to wait around to be interviewed by the police? Because it didn't seem so. It didn't seem like it.
No, the police are nowhere to be seen, and like no one wants to be there. They're all just like, when can we leave?
Yeah.
And even when you do get kind of like the answer or whatever to the whodunit, it
Oh my
felt
God.
so unbelievably tacked on at the end. Where it's just like, okay,
it barely even made any sense. Like, it was just like the most lackluster resolution, where when you find out everything, you're just like, ugh, that's it. I just spent 101 minutes to get to this. Like, come on. It doesn't go anywhere. The sort of the thing that ties it all up at the end, like the final scene, feels like a nothing burger as well. So at the end of the day, I'm just not even sure what this movie, like, why it exists. Like, I just don't feel like I need this movie. There just wasn't anything to it.
yeah. And there's a part of me that wonders, like, if this would have been any better without the single take, because I think like the single take to me kept drawing attention to the fact that it was a single take. So much of it is just people walking, where you're just like, okay, this is detracting from like the actual film that you're trying to make. Like, maybe if you just had cuts and editing, this would have been better.
I think you do have something there, because I think that you would have been able to control the pace a lot more. You'd be able to tune the pace a lot more if you just had regular cuts. And the other thing is, like, I don't know if the single take was supposed to be designed to show the chaos backstage, you know, the how frantic everything was and how stressful, but it actually did the opposite. It made everything just feel kind of boring, whereas if you had the ability to do cuts and stuff, you could be more frantic with it, you know, and do very short takes and stuff, or short cuts, and make everything feel more kinetic and tense.
Yeah,
if that's what you were going for, at least.
Yeah, because I never once got the feeling that, oh, it's chaos behind the scenes. It just felt like a bunch of people waiting,
just sitting around
that
arguing.
they could leave. You know, yeah, that they could leave. Like, God, we have to wait for the police, and then we'll finally get to go home.
And the thing is, like a lot of the conversations didn't really feel like they went anywhere or had any substance either. There's like one kind of, I don't know if I'd call it shocking, but there's one thing that happens at some point, which as soon as she lit that cigarette, I knew. Like, I just knew.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. But also, like, she has to walk like 10 minutes to get to a place where she's gonna smoke, and I don't know.
It's probably not the best place to smoke.
It's just a weird, like, why walk that far away? I feel like an exit to the outside would probably be closer. Anyway, I was disappointed with this one.
100%.
All right, so that's what else did Thomas Hardiman do? This is his feature debut from the looks of it.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. Keep at it, Thomas. Keep at it. Did a bunch of shorts before this, which I haven't seen, but I mean, it's not like dog shit or anything. It's just, is this an A24? It said A24 on the trailer.
Yeah.
But
I don't remember seeing that.
I didn't see it. Yeah.
The opening.
And I'm looking at the poster, and A24 is not listed anywhere on it. That's weird. Maybe A24 was like international release or something.
Maybe.
Anyway,
this is one of those where they're like,
It might, yeah, maybe it was one of the A24 swept under the rug type of ones.
Charles Swan syndrome.
Yeah. It says here, distributors A24 theatrical. And US theatrical. So maybe, looks like Mubi handled the VOD, so that's probably why we don't see the logo. Yeah. Anyway, all right. That's Medusa Deluxe. Kevin, what are you gonna give it out of 10?
No, I would give it like a 3.
Yeah, I'm not like maybe I'd say a 3 also. 2.5, 3, somewhere around there for me. It's just, yeah, very disappointing. I was actually kind of excited for this one.
I was too.
All right, let's move on and talk about some of what we've been watching. I saw a few things over the last couple weeks. The first being, I'll start with the big ones, I guess. I saw The Flash. This is out now on VOD. I don't have a lot to say about it. I didn't think it was very good. I continue to feel like I'm over the whole superhero movie thing. This is directed by Andy Muschietti. He's the guy who did the It movies, It and It Chapter 2, and he did Mama. Weird choice to have this, horror movie director do the Flash movie. Not sure how that worked out. But yeah, this one is just not very good. I pretty much mirror what everybody else has said about this. The CG is god awful. It's like some of the worst CG I've seen in a big budget movie for a while. The movie itself is meh. I like the fact that they brought Michael Keaton back as Batman. I thought that was really cool. And he's in it way more than what I expected. Like, he's actually kind of one of the main characters, which was cool. You got to see him be Bruce Wayne. You got to see him be Batman. You got to see like the old, the Burton Batmobile and the whatever the hell I don't know, Batwing, whatever the jet thing is called. I think it's called Batwing. And the suit and everything. Like, so that was really cool. But everything else I thought was not anything special. So, I don't really recommend it.
You know what I recommend?
What?
Sleepaway Camp.
Oh, hell yeah, you finally saw this.
I did.
Now,
1983, Robert Hill sick.
Now, if I remember correctly, you were somehow able to avoid the twist at the end.
Yeah.
Correct?
I had no idea. Yeah.
And
I had no idea, dude.
It's also very interesting revisiting this movie because now, like, that twist, while might have been something for the 80s, I think it carries a much different tone in 2023.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. 100%. And man, the way in which that reveal is shown and the way it's shot and everything, it's just like, holy shit.
I think it's that scene is one of the creepiest looking shots in like horror cinema. Like that's like an image that I think will forever just be burned into my brain.
Oh yeah. Oh, and the way they like burn it into the movie itself. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like the freeze frame and then like
it's just so creepy. The grin.
Yeah. It's fucking wild. I was not like I was kind of prepared for it because you see it coming, obviously. The way that they're hinting at it, you're like, okay, I have a feeling I know how this is going to go. But the way in which they do the reveal is just like, oh shit, like damn, like I even knew it was coming, but it's still like extremely disturbing and surprising at the same time, and just packed a punch that I wasn't prepared for it to do. But another thing that I love about this movie is, I love just summer camp horror movies. They're just, whatever reason, there's just something about them. And this movie does a really good job in something that I like about summer camp movies, where you're just doing summer camp stuff for stretches of time. Like the whole baseball game, I thought that was like the funniest thing in the world because it's just a bunch of little kids shit talking and swearing and calling each other names. And it's just fucking perfect because you're like, I love this little detour that we're doing where it's like a comedy baseball movie.
Yeah.
For no reason. Like, we didn't have to do this, but let's do it because it's summer camp. You have to.
Yeah, I love this movie. This is one of my all-time favorite slashers. I think it's just so good. It's weird. It is weird seeing it in HD nowadays, because there's certain things that you see, like one scene specifically, there's a scene where the killer is standing in a doorway, and the original version, like it looked like a silhouette, but when you see it in HD, it's the brother, and it doesn't make any sense because it makes it look like he's the killer. But it was
Which
meant
maybe
to be
he
just
is
a black
sometimes.
silhouette.
Maybe he is sometimes, though.
Well, maybe, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they never, like, they didn't rule that out.
True, yeah, true.
But yeah, that was kind of, and just the sleaziness of it.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh, he's
like,
not
so
the
fucked up. Like,
he's like a cousin, isn't he? They're not brother and sister.
Yeah.
It's like a cousin, yeah. The dirtiness, the grunginess of this.
Yeah,
movie.
like the people that work at the camp, like the fucking, the first guy that gets it, the pedophile. Like, that was just really off-putting and disgusting when they're like running into camp and it's just like, oh, what the fuck, dude?
Yep. And then the kitchen scene.
Oh man, this is so great.
And the bees. Oh my god, I love this movie.
Oh yeah, the bees.
I just this movie's just it really is one of the best slashers.
Oh, so good. So fucking good. It's on Tubi. Where else would it be?
Of course. Looks like it's also on Peacock and Plex, Crackle. It's all over the place.
On Tubi,
yeah.
None of those things exist. If it's on those things, that means it's on Tubi.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Trying to fucking copy off of Tubi.
Cool. So that is Sleepaway Camp from 1983. You know, they made like 3 sequels to that. And Bruce Springsteen's daughter played Angela in the sequels. I think her.
Really?
Yeah. Pamela Springsteen, I believe, is her name.
Wow.
The sequels are, trash in comparison to the original, but
yeah.
All right. I saw Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Finally got a chance to see this. This is on VOD now. It's great. I expected it to be great. I think that it is on par with the first one. I think that it just kind of ratchets everything up even more. Like the animation in this one is even more kind of stylistic and experimental. Like they bring in 2D animation, live action, Lego. They just, they throw everything at this one, and it's just like the first one, only more, and that's all I could really want. So I think that this series is still incredible, and I think that it is pushing animation, or rather like mainstream animation, in really good directions that I think I'm hoping that other like studios like Pixar will look at and be like, okay, well, we don't have to do just the standard bullshit, And I think maybe with the new TMNT movie, maybe others are kind of following that and trying new things. So highly recommend Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I think you'll like it easily.
I watched Frankenhooker, 1990.
Hell yeah.
Frankenhooker.
No,
I didn't know this was a trauma movie. I didn't know that.
Was it?
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't know. I actually didn't know that either.
Which is funny because like it opens and it's like, this is a trauma movie and everything. And I was just like, oh, this is it's like,
yeah, it's not your typical trauma movie, that's for sure.
No, it's definitely not.
This is a little bit better than what you would typically think of with trauma.
Oh, 100%. Because this is it's exactly what I wanted. And it's just absolutely fucking ridiculous. So many people explode. I mean, a whole hotel room full of hookers explode. Just one after another from super crack. Like, what? I mean, come on. That was awesome. More people kept exploding later. Like, I thought that they just did all of it at one shot, which if that's what it was, that would have been great too, Like, that's enough. But then they did more later, which, thank you. That was cool. It's just, everything about it is just ridiculous. The effects work is pretty fucking fantastic. It's like the exact amount of good enough to be slightly realistic, but also kind of hokey at the same time, which is something that it's an itch that I always have, and that delivered. And then the surprising thing was, like, I was really surprised by that. Like, the acting in this movie is really good.
Oh yeah.
Especially when she becomes Frankenhooker at the end. Like, I don't know why, but that was just absolutely hilarious to me. She did such a fantastic job of, like...
Yeah, this is another, like, really great kind of seedy, gross movie.
Oh, yeah.
You
As
know,
soon as they go into New York, oh, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's your classic Frank Henenlotter joint, you know, like basket case. So I just looked it up because I was curious about the Troma thing because I did not remember Frankenhooker being under their umbrella. And it looks like they acquired the North American Pictures catalog in 2021. So
Okay.
Troma just acquired that catalog, which includes Frankenhooker, Maniac Cop, Basket Case 2 and 3, and The Exterminator.
Gotcha. And they immediately created title cards that said a Troma release. Nice job, Troma.
Of course. Of course. Is it like the classic old one with the jingle?
What? No, it wasn't that, but it was like baked into the film itself, which just, like, it looked like it was right at home, where I was like, oh, this is a Troma release.
Huh.
I didn't know that.
Interesting.
It's just like an overlay, you know?
Yeah.
But also, Tubi, where else would it be?
Of course. I think a large portion of the Troma catalog is online these days. I think they released like a ton of their movies like officially on YouTube and stuff.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Cool. That's Frankenhooker. Check it out. I mean, it's a goofy title and everything. It's a goofy movie, but also it's like way better than you would think.
Yeah. No, because I was going into it just kind of expecting a goofy time, and it was so much more than that.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a cult classic. I saw One False Move from 1992. This is a crime thriller from Carl Franklin. Stars Bill Paxton.
Oh, I've been wanting to see this movie. I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys say.
This was recently brought to Criterion, right?
Yep.
So this is Bill Paxton plays this like small town cop who gets involved in this like kind of like a big case where Billy Bob Thornton and his girlfriend Cinda Williams and another guy, I believe is this Michael Beach? I didn't neglect to look it up. Apologies. But these three criminals end up killing a bunch of people, like six, 7 people, stealing a bunch of coke, and then hitting the road. And they figure out that they're heading to this small town and in Arkansas, and Bill Paxton is like the chief of police in this like tiny little podunk town. So he has to join up with the LAPD and the FBI to try to bring down these 3 criminals. And it turns out that he has sort of a personal connection with the woman who's in there, and it's just this like really good, just solid kind of procedural melodrama. It's very well shot. It is bolstered by really good performances and really good characters. Like the characters are very interesting. So and I don't know, man. Bill Paxton is so good in this. He's like this kind of goofy, like he's good at his job. He's a good cop, but he's also like so happy and optimistic and goofy the whole time. It's such a good performance from him. Very sad to see this and to remember that he's gone, but definitely recommend One False Move. It didn't like blow me away or anything, but it is a really solid procedural. If you're looking for kind of good crime drama, this is definitely one to check out. It's very entertaining.
That's a genre that I find myself wanting.
Oh yeah. And it's nice. It goes back and forth between like, you know, the police trying to track them down and get one step ahead of them, and then it kind of goes in between the two sets of characters, and then you go to Billy Bob, and it's violent, but it's not like overly violent or anything. It's just a good flick. I definitely recommend checking it out.
Nice. Something I recommend checking out. I mean, if you like romance movies from the 50s, that's David Lean's Summertime, 1955. This is not on Tubi, sad to say. It's on Criterion Channel or Max.
Yeah, it looks like it's on Max.
Max. If you want to check it out on Max. The big time thing about this, I think, is shot in Venice. 1955 Venice. Ooh, right?
Yeah.
A romantic comedy of sorts taking place in 1955 Venice. David Lean, he knows what he's doing with the camera. Just the way in which Venice is shot, just absolutely incredible. Spectacular. The actual romance itself is kind of Katharine Hepburn does a really good job in this role. She essentially goes on vacation alone, and she kind of falls into this romantic relationship with a shop owner, and it's kind of them going back and forth where she learns that he's married, but he's not really married. He's more separated and kind of reluctant to start a relationship with him, and just everything that's going on in Venice at the time. But man, in terms of filmmaking and location, oh man, that'll carry you. Just that alone. Because it's phenomenal.
Nice. Very nice. That's Summertime from 1955. I saw Streetwise from 1984. This is a documentary by Martin Bell. This was, I believe, nominated for an Academy Award for Best Documentary when it was released in 84. It follows the lives of 8 teenagers who are living on the streets in Seattle. And it's just like kind of like just a fly on the wall type of slice of life documentary where it just follows them around and just you see their lives and like the struggles that they have. One of the main characters that or subjects that the film follows is this 13 into 14-year-old girl named Erin Blackwell. She's working as a prostitute on the streets. It's a beautifully shot film. I mean, this movie is just gorgeous. If you're looking for like, you know, that city grime, that 80s city grime, like this movie is it, man. In addition to just following these kids around, there's just a lot of like extra stuff, like just showing random people and things that are happening in the city. You know, it's one could even say that the city is a character in this movie. And it's great. I absolutely love this documentary. It was fantastic. It's easy to see where like kind of future documentarians would get their inspiration from, like her name's escaping me right now. The Bombay Beach director.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember her name, but like those, like I hesitate to say like misery porn, but you know, that's kind of, or poverty porn, I guess. Like that's what they're like, some people consider them. I disagree in most cases, this one included. I think that it's just a fascinating expose on, you know, street life and just what a horrible set of circumstances these kids just found themselves in. And then piggybacking off of that, I saw Tiny, The Life of Erin Blackwell, which was the follow-up documentary that they created 30 years later. So this one came out in 2016, and they catch up with Erin 30 years after this documentary, the original, and just sort of see where she's at in her life. A lot of the subjects of the original documentary unfortunately passed away. One of them committed suicide while they were still making the documentary, so that's in there, unfortunately. And the sequel or follow-up, I guess, it's nowhere near on the same level. Like this one is just, it almost feels like a made-for-TV movie or something, which, interestingly, they did do like sort of a made-for-TV movie in 1990 with Aaron Blackwell as a follow-up, but it wasn't these filmmakers. It was like 2020 or like one of those shows. This felt like maybe a step above something like that. It was just nowhere near the same level of artistry as the original documentary. It felt more like just like a "Where Are They Now" type of thing. I mean, it was still interesting to see where she's at now, and at least she's still alive. She's still struggling, but she's still alive, which you can't say about a lot of the people that were featured in the original documentary. So either way, I do recommend checking this out. I believe that Criterion has both movies together. I think it's like a two film thing. And also on the bonus features, they have an interview with another one of the characters or people who made it through. His name was Rat, and they do like a short interview, 15-minute interview with him on there as well. And I think that you can watch that on the Criterion channel as well.
Okay.
So yeah, recommend Streetwise. Just know, I mean, you should know going into it that it is a very tragic and horribly depressing film, but it's still very fascinating at the same time. All right, let's take a look at what we have in theaters this week. Got a couple of big ones. We got Strays, which is the Will Ferrell, the talking dog one.
Mm-hmm.
Potty mouth dogs.
Oh boy, they swear.
Yeah, they drop F-bombs. Those pups are dropping F-bombs.
Oh God, such progression that we're making.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We also have Blue Beetle, which is the latest DC adaptation. Looks pretty bad to me, but hey.
Imagine if it was a beetle that swore.
Oh, now that would be progressive.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'd have something to talk about.
Sure, you're damn right.
That's pretty much it for theaters, at least the biggies. On VOD this week, starting with August 15th, we have With This Light. We got Babylon 5, The Road Home. We got Caverna. We got $1 Billion Heist. Kill Shot. Wrong Reasons. And then on the 18th, we have The Engineer. Deadshot. So we got Kill Shot and Deadshot coming out this week.
Oh boy, there's a twofer.
And then we have Haunting of the Queen Mary, Dark Windows. I think that's about it for VOD. Netflix, we have The Monkey King coming out. That's an animated one. And then Blu-ray this week, we got Asteroid City, the new Wes Anderson one, if you haven't seen that yet. I was a little disappointed with that, but it was still good. I was just pretty low on my list of Wes Anderson. Got Wrath of Becky. That one's worth a look on VOD probably. Got The Machine, Holy Spider, August Underground from 2001, Instinct to Kill from 2001, starring Mark Dacascos from the looks of it. Ghost Watch from 1992. If you haven't seen that yet, that's definitely worth a look.
Is that the BBC one?
Yeah, where people thought it was real.
Yeah, I want to see that so bad.
I think it's on Shudder too.
I'm pretty sure it is because
Yeah.
I always see it when I'm searching for movies to watch.
It's very interesting, and also like, with a lot of the stuff when you hear about people thought it was real. This one, it's like I can kind of see it. Like they really do a good job of selling this one. Frankenstein 80 from 1972. Junkhead from 2017. That Babylon 5 one. Let's see. Wrong Reasons. Broken Mirrors from 1984. It looks like that's pretty much it for all the biggies. What about Criterion's?
Oh, we got one. We got Dim Sum, A Little Bit of Heart, Wayne Wang film from 1985.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for listening. You can send us your questions and topics to podcast@filmpulse.net. You can follow us on X. That's
No.
At FilmPulseNet and at FilmPulseKevin. I'm probably going to just go ahead and say that this is the last time we're going to mention that that app on this show. If you have a minute, consider reviewing us on iTunes. That'd be great. For Kevin Rakestraw, my name's Adam Patterson. We'll see you next week.